Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everybody. We are still here with Roslan Effendi, and today at this hour especially I am with someone very important for me and for the rest of you out there. Her name is Fazilah Yusof.
Hello everyone.
And she is currently assuming a role of a Chief Vision Officer in her founded company, namely Invictus Leadership Consulting. And being an expert there, she's looking into a consultancy role for many of you out there, especially corporate companies. And in the past, Fazilah, thank you very much for joining me this hour. Really appreciate that. Someone as busy as you taking time off your busyness and having yourself here in this speaking session. Fazilah in the past was leading or as a senior leadership or building her career into a leadership role of a CHRO, and many of the things that she has picked up would be very much useful when we are having this conversation, especially for the audience out there that is looking upgrading themselves into a C-suite later on in the future. So Fazilah, I have this one very important question that I like to ask you, especially with regard of your background in people management. What advice would you give to a HR leader who wants to move from functional role into true strategic C-suite position, from functional role to C-suite for a HR leader? What do you think? What would be best from you punya past experience?
Thank you, Roslan. And first of all, it's a privilege to be able to be part of this journey with the participants out there. And thank you so much for having this opportunity to invite me as part of your mentors. So yes, you are right. Been the Chief HR Officer many years. I believe that there are certain traits, there are certain experience and exposure that a person needs to go through, right? Now, if I may, I would like to perhaps share my own experience in which I had the opportunity to make that decision as to whether do I want to be a specialist in HR or do I want to be the head of HR. And I think many of us may have this dilemma in their career, right? Now, for me, there was a point in my career when I was at the point of being a generalist. And in the past, I had also the opportunity to be a specialist.
I see.
And in the language of HR, when you talk about either a specialist or a generalist, it would be, if you were to be a specialist, then it would be the specialist in the various verticals of HR. So you'd have things such as talent management, you have perhaps employee engagement, you have IR, you have compensation and benefits. So these are verticals within HR. So there is no right or wrong in anybody's career. You'd either want to be a specialist or you want to become a generalist. However, the trajectory, your career progression would be diverging if you were to choose either one, right? Now, if you want to be a specialist, then you will climb the corporate ladder as a specialist. So there's no wrong or right to that, right? It's a choice. Some people would just want to be a specialist, right? But those who aspire to be in the C-suite level and therefore wants to progress into the CHRO or head of HR level, then they need to be able to have the full spectrum of the specialist verticals before they go into a generalist role and further on to become the head of CHRO, right? Now, the experience that I wanted to share. So there was a time when I was at this junction, right? It was a crossroad for me. I have had the opportunity to do my specialist role and had some experience doing a generalist role. So at that point, where do I want to go? What is it that I want to do? So that was an opportunity for me to look at introspectively and do some form of reflection. And I had also the benefit of a mentor. I myself had a mentor. So at that point, I consulted my mentor and also asked her, what is it that what would be that journey for me, right? So as a mentor, she advised me to look at what is it that I want, right? Okay. So at that point, I wanted to become the head of HR, right? There is a purpose to being a head of HR, the ability to support, to help others. That was the purpose, yeah? So once I've decided to go into that route, then I would need to look at what are the gaps that I need to fulfill. Now, no one is perfect, right? Everybody needs to have some form of development in order for you to reach that, right? But in my case, it was at that point that I decided to be going towards that career path and therefore plan my journey to get there. So once you know what your purpose is, where do you want to go for, then you will look at how do you then develop your gaps, right? And this program, as we know it, perhaps will be able to help that, right? Because this program, as we all know, it helps to prepare and accelerate the C-suite level, right? So from that experience that I have, it is having that opportunity to have a mentor to guide me at that point, and also from then on to develop myself to make sure that I fill the gaps that I do have. And the rest is history.
Yeah, thank you very much for sharing with us on that point or scores, which I really like about what you have said, that you are able to put yourself in where assessing your current state and where you want to go in your desired state, which is going to be a head of HR, and looking for a mentor for you to be guiding your career activities or the action plans that you want to take, going towards that desired state to ensure that it is effective and reaching the destination of where you want to go.
Exactly.
Can you share with us one biggest challenge that you have faced when you wanted to do that, and how did you overcome that as part of the learning journey that we can share with our audience to become a CHRO, for instance?
One of the things that I do right now is an executive coach. So I coach people. And at that point in time, I wish that I had a coach, right? To be able to partner with me in dispelling the self-doubt, right? To your question as to what was the challenge, is the challenge of having that self-doubt.
Okay.
To know whether, can I do it? Is this the correct path? I'm going through a journey, but is that journey the correct journey, right? Now, if I were to have had a coach, or if I were to speak with my mentor more, then I think that self-doubt would appease or would be lesser in that sense, right? So my challenge at that point is whether can I do it?
I see.
Right? But how do I overcome that, right? So it's about that self-belief. So you need to be able to have that your own energy and your own thoughts around what you can do and what you can't. And having that opportunity to have a very supportive support team with you.
Around you?
Around me, right? Very positive, very good support system that I have to encourage me to go forward. Right?
But the first principle is very much on believing in yourself.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Then you get people around you to support you, so that along the journey you know that you've got the kind of a support system that you need for you to be able to reach to your destination.
Correct. And to the other point is that you need to yourself want it.
Okay.
Right? So if let's say somebody else tells you to become a CHRO, for example, and you actually do not want to become a CHRO, you are just so comfortable to just being a sole contributor, then people may push you, but you may not be a willing party to do it, right? So coupled with the fact that you want that role, you go after that role, and also having that support system around you helps you.
Can I conclude that if you are in a position where you want yourself for that journey that you went through, as opposed to someone put you into that journey and put you under pressure for you to be achieving what they want to achieve,
right?
That will not be so much sustainable for the later, rather than if you have it in your own self.
Exactly.
I mean, it's proactivity of what you want, and you chase what you have crafted in your head, what you want to achieve at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So I also believe in that as well. I mean, if someone at the professional stage of their life, if they are doing something that is lured or be motivated much by the package or the materials that they are going to get at the end of the day, that will not be something that is long lasting, and be building himself to a better stage, because of this is purely responding to external environment, which in my opinion, if it is taken away from you, you lost the motivation factors already, and you will not be what you want to be, right?
Exactly.
So I mean, that is a very, very good advice from you, based on you punya journey, for our audience out there, that when you want to try and pursue something, make sure that it has nothing to do with material that you are chasing. You're not trying to chase the butterfly. Rather than chase the butterfly, why don't you trim the garden so that all sorts of butterfly come and visit you?
Yes.
And it's the luxury of you to choose which butterfly that you like.
Exactly. And if I were to add one more point, it's about purpose, right? What is your purpose? When you mention about chasing a butterfly or wanting to trim the hedges of the of the bushes so that butterfly comes, but also understanding what is your purpose, right? Now, if let's say your purpose is to get the recognition, to get the position, right? But you forego the other things, as HR, for example, if you are the CHRO, the title comes with responsibility, right? So it does not mean that if you were to become a CHRO, you can do whatever that you want to your staff, right? It's also that purpose that you need to have. Why is it that you want to become a CHRO?
Yep, and that is very lovely. I mean, when you are doing something that is purposeful, you know what problem you are fixing or you are solving, and what value you are creating to the people living around you, so that they can enjoy the same values created from what you are doing, rather than you are just chasing something which you are not clear what values that you are really creating for the people around you, but more like you are so greedy to look into your own values.
Exactly.
Right? So thank you very much for having you, Fazilah.
Most welcome.
It's really lovely for all of you out there to be spending time with her in this session. And look, in this short session, we can learn few things that is really meaningful as a key takeaway for all of you to be successful in your career in the future. If I can just conclude, have a purpose in your career journey. Always know what you want, and build actionable action plans to fill up that current state going to the desired state.
Right.
And pursue that.
Of course.
Find people around you that is a good support system, and
Yes.
always believe in yourself.
Correct.
Have I concluded well there?
Correct.
Puan Fazilah?
Yes.
All right, you guys, if you want more to have coming up from Puan Fazilah like this in our programs later on, do sign up. Look for your HR in your organizations, request for it. Sign up and see us in the August intake and spend more time with Puan Fazilah as a mentor, and we can learn far more lot than what we have just heard in these short hours spending time together.
Thank you
very
Rizal.
much again, Puan
You're most
Fazilah.
welcome.
I'm really appreciated and I feel honored to have you, and so does all the audience out there. So we hope to see you in August. Sign up and we'll see each other again. Bye, everybody.
See you there. Bye.